Hi. Hi. Because I feel like this is a little bit of a different slant on the conversations that we've been having, and one that actually is quite new for me about how we might be able to leverage AI in the development of better places. So over to you, Jen.
Thank you so much. Good morning. It is a real pleasure to be here. My name is Jen Angel. I'm the CEO of Evergreen, and we are a national not-for-profit building better public spaces in the country. We work with private capital, public land, and community to build public spaces that can work hard for multiple outcomes at the same time across health and climate and local economy. And we aren't experts in technology, and luckily today I'm joined by a couple. What we're really focused on is the humans and how to nudge better decision-making in infrastructure through the use of technology. I also moonlight at the Canadian Infrastructure Council as chair, and that's an expert advisory body appointed by the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure with a mandate, once again, to influence better infrastructure planning and decision-making in the country, using data and evidence to inform those decisions. As part of Evergreen's work, we host a testbed for climate and construction technology at Evergreen Brickworks in Toronto. So we're hosting a number of startup companies working in critical industrial technologies, giving them a chance to test and showcase their work, including many AI companies in real-world conditions. We've also been involved in an early deployment of AI in a municipal context, working with the City of Calgary and the Peel region, and also Halifax, to deploy a machine learning predictive analytics tool, sort of using open source data, to show the impacts of decision-making related to land use on urban heat island effect. So we've been working with technology and adjacent technology, but really focused on how to empower the humans with the technology to ultimately result in better outcomes. And so once again, today I'm joined by two actual experts in technology, and I'm delighted to introduce them to you now. So Corey Nelson is the Executive Director in the President's Office of Esri Canada. Many of you will know Esri, a national company with very broad reach in the country. They also, among their sort of products and programs is ArcGIS, which is sort of the go-to geospatial planning tool in many governments in the country, many local governments. And so we're delighted to have Corey with us. And Rickey Pannell is the Chief Technology Officer in ResolveHD, which is a Nova Scotia startup working on data interoperability with particular applications in health and emergency management and defense. And so thank you both for agreeing to do this and for joining me. And let's dig in, because we don't have a ton of time. So maybe we could start with you, Corey. Just kick us off. What do you do? Why does it matter? And how does it relate to improving places?
That's great. Thanks, Jen. And I'm really happy to be here this morning. I've been working with Esri for over 25 years now, and we provide geographic information solution technology to all levels of government. It's being used to help solve complex issues. It's being used to innovate, to assess risk through the lens of geography. And we bring the geographic approach to the things that we do with our customers. We've been doing this for over 40 years now. Our first license of technology in the world was in New Brunswick to help create a digital footprint of the forest, as they thought they were running out of wood. And it's really to bring data, acquire data, and then to assess and visualize that data, then to analyze that data and understand the spatial relationships, which then turns that into information that we can use to collaborate and coordinate and help make better decisions. And we do that. That's the core of our business. Our tagline and our brand is the science of where. So helping build better communities and better places to live is really at the core of our business.
Wonderful, thank you. Over to you, Rickey.
ResolveHD is an AI infrastructure company, and our focus is data. And I know it's always a big question, like how do I know if the AI is telling me the truth? Our first line of defense is doing a great job processing the data. And what we offer is that's different than traditional data processing is we're ready for any kind of data type. It could be a shapefile from ArcGIS, it could be a PDF, an audio file. But additionally, we know the context of your domain, whether it be defense or healthcare or emergency, and we dynamically plan how we're going to process your data for you so that you get the kind of answers that you need. So if your hospital is most worried about genomics and the pharmaceuticals being administered to certain patients based on their DNA, we can shape the context to process your data that way. So that's we also have an agent that you can ask questions, but that's not our focus. Our agentic harness is not our focus. It's really getting that data together the way that you want to ask questions about, what's important to you.
Thank you. So we know we have a pile of data, a big, messy, tangled pile of data, which is often overwhelming to the people who are trying to harness it for better decisions or improve workflows, to drive productivity and innovation. Rickey, you said to me earlier, that AI isn't just the cleanup crew. We want it to actually make a better future. And Corey, you often talk to me about the enormous capacity and capability that already exists at the fingertips of government to improve work and outcomes. So there's an important role that humans play in the adoption of AI at scale. And there's also quite often a reluctance really to adopt new technologies, whether owing to a well-worn path of work. We know how to do things the way we've always done them. It could be risk management or data sovereignty or privacy, or indeed just the fear of being replaced by technology. And so what I want to ask is it a false choice between the humans and the machines? How can we nudge adoption while also balancing the need to support the humans? And how can this relate to the work we're doing, to build places that can improve our lives?
Yeah, I think the interesting part for us is adoption of technology is what we've done for years. And working with our customers as new capabilities come online is why should they adopt it? Not just because it's a tool, and we've heard that yesterday, which is a tool looking for a problem, it's how does the tool help solve that problem that they've identified and the outcomes that they're looking for. So AI is not new for us. We've been using it inside of our technology for a long time. The nice thing about our customers across the country, they've been building highly accurate, detailed data sets for over 40 years. And as we heard in some of the talks earlier today and yesterday, is this trusted data is required to really make AI a capability that we can use. And adoption of technology, we've had this for many years. When the web came along, when mobile came along, and the technology got easier, the professionals felt like, ooh, that's coming for my job. And we always thought your job has become more important today than it ever has because we're getting this capability out into the hands of more people. We always joke, no longer is it sliding the pizza under the door to the professional to get the output that you need. That professional is now curating the information to allow me to come up to those conclusions and make the decision myself using that technology. And I read a recent article around creating a more intelligent world with GIS and geography and AI. And there was a tagline in that article that stuck with me and really resonated, which was, AI can process, geography can illuminate, but only humans can decide. People make the decision.
Very nice. Well said. What do you think, Rickey?
I think for me, in my experience, I'm building a team that's building an AI product, and we're using AI tools. So I'm kind of on both sides of it. But the important part to me is the people who are on, at the bottom, at the ends of the org chart, are the people I think that are impacted the most and tend to use these tools the most and become fluent the fastest, like a data scientist or a writer or a designer. So those people are the ones that are showing, more productivity, but also it seems like there's some kind of trend in like letting those people go, and those jobs being lost. But what I actually see happening is those roles can expand. And with my engineering team, what I see is they're going so fast we can't keep them tasked. So suddenly the productivity bounces up to me, and then we ask them, well, how can we give you bigger tasks? And then they take on a role where it's like, oh, I used to just complete something, but now I'm designing a piece of software, and the person totally junior that we hired as a data scientist is suddenly a data architect. And then they're still more productive, and they want to make sure they have access to the contract or to the user, and it just grows and grows until they've expanded their role, well beyond the definition. So what are they? A product manager, a scrum master? They're doing all those things to some extent. So part of organizational agility is letting them expand and grow, because sometimes the role kind of bounds the capacity to be productive, right? So they need bigger tasks. But in terms of our customers, I think the same is true, is if we give an auditor or an analyst or a person writing a post-incident assessment the power to do their job much, much faster, I would encourage organizations to expand the roles back into the dimensions where humans are most unique in terms of empathy. Maybe put them back in the ER to help improve quality of care, or improve even feedback. We responded to this fire yesterday. These two things we didn't quite get right. We can talk about the next day instead of it taking months to write a post-incident assessment. Those sorts of things. Bringing the important human empathy, judgment, taste back into the role. So that's key.
That's a nice frame, and I think it's a good segue. So I want to talk quickly about net benefit. So when we're thinking about apps that make life easier, and provide maybe greater insight on a personal level, and also the power to plan and operate better cities at a macro level. What about the side consequences? So kids spend 7 hours a day online and less than 30 minutes outdoors. We're not going outside to meet our neighbors. We're disconnected, in real life, maybe more than ever before. I'm told every time you use ChatGPT to look at a recipe, it costs a glass of water. Ecosystem-wide, how do we wrestle with the cost benefit of AI in social and environmental terms?
Me first? Okay.
Sure.
I think technology penetrates our life way faster than we can think about how we want to use it. And I mean, this could be, smart watches or phones, AI glasses, all this stuff. So we have to make a choice, how we want to use it and when is the appropriate moment to use it as a tool. And more and more, we don't even have the choice. For example, when if you're looking for the current conversion of Canadian dollars to US dollars, if you just do it on Google the old school way, what's the current conversion rate? It gives you the AI answer. It invoked an LLM to do something so simple. And I would like the choice, to not do that. And you can choose. You can type minus AI in the search, and it removes the LLM response. It's a little bit high touch, but you can choose, and sometimes you kind of need to decide. If you could reach for a cookbook, the Joy of Cooking has substitutions for sugars in the back. Takes another minute to do. But I think you have to stop and choose whether it's the right tool for the job. And another thing is also like, if you're going to use AI, like teach yourself to ask good questions. Make sure it's more than just a single sentence. Like give it a little bit of why I'm asking, what I need, how I need it, those types of pieces, and then that narrows the amount of tokens required, and therefore the carbon impact, of your interaction with the LLM. So there's a couple of little things.
Thanks. Good examples. Go ahead, Corey.
A couple thoughts on this one, and it's something that we're working on, and it's something that our employees are asking us of what is the impact on the environment to our use of AI, and we're trying to measure that, and it's been difficult, but we're working on it. I think it's one of these things that for our customers as well, it needs to be tied back to what is the outcome that they're trying to achieve, and is it worth the implementation of that particular capability, not only from a dollars and cents, but more that environmental impact, which is people care a lot about, especially the younger generation, as we were talking about this morning, what that impact is. People don't know, and that's part of the challenge, is they don't know what they're doing. They're getting answers. It's easy, but they don't fully understand what the impact is, and if some of them did, they may make a different choice. And I think we need to figure out what is the community benefit when we put out some of these capabilities, and is it worth it? And when we think about the health and people being inside, and I would say it's more than just kids, everybody needs to spend more time outside, and how can tools and capabilities help us plan better green spaces and plan better cities to help us get outside? And we were introduced to, I think you were talking about her this week, which is Dr. Lem, Melissa Lem, and the Parks Initiative, PARX, where you can prescribe nature. And she introduced us to this concept of 330-300. And that is the ability to see 3 trees from your residence, live within a neighborhood that has 30% tree canopy coverage, and within 300 meters of a park. And we're working with municipalities across the country to realize that, and what does that look like in their city. So this is the input of a bunch of different data that we pull together, analyze, and produce an output to measure how is that city doing against that particular goal, to provide this to the citizens to help with better health outcomes.
Yeah, I think that's a great example. An interesting fact, Melissa Lem actually got started in the nature prescribing at Evergreen in Toronto, so full circle moment. So we have just under 2 minutes to go, so sort of short snapper. What's on your mind? Key takeaways maybe related to AI adoption for better places. I'll let you take it wherever you want to go.
I would just go back to, teach your most junior people good judgment, good taste, and let them expand the role, and just, support them as much as you can. Also, another theme that I often get on is if your organization only lets you use Copilot, that's still a pretty awesome tool. Like, don't just because you don't have Claude or ChatGPT, don't think that you're just out of the game. Because we do security scans internally with Copilot just to test, and it gives us almost the same result as Claude, and so don't feel like you're left out, because that's the best your organization can, by policy, let you use. Yeah, those are my 2 things.
Last word to you, Corey.
I think, we're pretty excited about the potential and the capability that it's allowing us and our customers to do things at scale. Now, the caution is to do this responsibly, and that's been the mindset of a lot of our customers and organizations that we work with, which is, we think about a map, and you put something on a map, and people are like, well, that's got to be true. And there were days that was the sentiment, but I think we've gotten to the point with technology where people don't take it at face value, and AI is just another capability to help us get there. And I think it's going to accelerate and augment the capabilities that our organizations have to do more. So it's pretty exciting.
Thank you very much.